Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Narrative. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a case between a living carer, a wife, and a vulnerable individual. Okay, so this is a recent case and I'll be talking about the story in details. So hey lovelies, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Faithojone. And on this channel, I talk about ways you can travel abroad and settle abroad. I share resources with you on how you can get started. And I share latest updates concerning the UK, how you can move and settle in the UK. And I share story times like this called The Narrative. So if these are the kind of content you like, do hit the subscribe button down below. Turn on your notification bell so you do not miss any of my videos. Without saying so much, let's get straight into it. A wife and a living carer have been convicted of enslaving her vulnerable, disabled husband. The distressing story shed light on a disturbing maltreatment and exploitation of a man who deserves care and compassion. Sarah Somerset and George Webb, these two individuals who were having an affair while responsible for the well-being of Tom Somerset, rather than providing him with the care he needed, they subjected him to unthinkable condition, treating him as if nothing more than a piece of property. I mean, according to the prosecutor, Tom Somerset, which is a disabled husband, was essentially a prisoner in his own home. He was cut off from his family and friends. So this vulnerable man who has a disability and is almost blind, he uses wheelchair and he requires 24/7 care. He was left in bed like 90% of the time by his wife and the living carer who were supposed to, take care of him. His wife and the living carer did not brush his teeth for 1 year. After Tom endured years of mistreatment, the 40-year-old history graduate finally summoned the courage to speak out about his circumstance to his friend, who then reported the situation, and a rescue operation was quickly initiated, providing Tom with the help he so desperately needed. I mean, in the UK, they do not joke with disabled people and neglect. I mean, if you have a disabled child or partner that you're taking care of, I mean, they are priority. You need to take care of them. If you can't afford to take care of them by yourself, you need to then hire someone who would do that, or send them to a disabled care center. I mean, they have resources to care for disabled people, and because they are vulnerable people, the government, I mean, the law sort of is always on their side. Anyways, during the trial at the court, the prosecution painted a vivid picture of the deliberate exploitation and enslavement that Tom endured at the hand of his wife, Sarah, and his living carer, George. Instead of fulfilling their duty to care for him, they treated him as a possession, stripping him of his independence and leaving him entirely dependent on him. So just because someone is vulnerable does not mean that they cannot have their own life. If you're a carer, you work with disabled people, you understand that they always encourage you to support them to learn how to do things by themselves, just help them. They live together in the same house, and meaning creating an environment where control and abuse thrive. Tom estimated that he spent nearly 90% of 4 years confined to his bed. He was rarely allowed to see his mother, and enduring weeks without proper hygiene. His life was completely controlled by his wife and his carer, transforming him into a prisoner in his own home. I can't imagine the trauma he's going through, like seeing his wife with his care worker having an affair right in front of him. Tom sharing that while Sarah and George went away for weekend together, he was left trapped in bed with no help, except for when he desperately needed to use the toilet. At one point, he endured an astonishing 5 weeks confined to his bed. I mean, this is horrible. In a shocking revelation, a text message conversation between George, that's the care worker, and his wife, Sarah, came to light. So in the text message, Tom, that's his care worker, sent a message to his wife saying that no food for the dickhead. That if he has 2 meals, he would just eat all. So the wife replied saying, remember, we are using him and the dickhead gets paid soon, so I will take money out of his account. Most disabled people, they get paid by the government. So most times in the UK, the benefits, disabled people get more payments because of course they are disabled, they cannot do any work, they rely on the government for support. So I think the government pays them every month, and obviously this is the reason why the wife stays with him, and she's saying that the money will enter his account now and she will use it for weed. I mean, how heartless can people be? So as the trial concludes, Judge Webb, that is the carer, was convicted of ill-treatment as a care worker, while Sarah, his wife, an executive assistant, was found guilty of aiding George, the care worker. So they face additional charge of assault causing actual injury because there was an incident where his care worker, Tom, used his shoe on him. I mean, you cannot do that you cannot harm people physically in the UK. It's against the law. So Tom expressed his relief and satisfaction after hearing the guilty verdict. He stated that I am very pleased justice has been served. So, I mean, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think as an individual that you're responsible to care for someone who is vulnerable? If you've gotten to that point where you cannot care for this person anymore, what is the proper step for you to take? Do you have any justification to what Sarah, his wife, and the living carer did to him? Not caring for him, not bathing him, not brushing his teeth for 1 year, and sometimes they even travel for weeks together, leaving him alone with no one to care for. And to think that he is confined to his bed most of the time because he can't work, he can't see, he really needs all the help he can get. And this carer is being paid to take care of him, but is having an affair with his wife. I mean, the whole story, I can't imagine the kind of trauma and torture he went through in the hands of his wife and his supposed care worker. I mean, at the end of the day, I just pray that whatever we go through, we should not ever be in a vulnerable state where we need people to help us, because I mean, it takes a very kind-hearted person to really care for you. I understand that sometimes caring for disabled people can be exhausting and you get to a point where you're tired. But once you get to that point where you're tired, he has a family member. If you can't do it anymore, hand him over to his mom, okay, divorce him. But obviously she's sticking with him because of the money she gets from him, because she's in charge of everything, his account and everything about his life. So she is in charge. Anyway, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. They've not sentenced them yet. They're going to do that in the course of the week. I'll follow up with the story if they've sentenced them and how many years. I'll leave that in the comment section of this video. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your feedback. And guys, I have come to the end of this video. If this video was helpful, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.